So I saw a presidency candidate for Nigeria thingy and what, and he was commenting about Islam not being the problem. Islam not being the problem in Nigeria. And I thought that was such an interesting point to highlight what living in a deception looks like.
Listen carefully. It's not easy for me to say this. And I hope one day I'll not regret it for saying this, but it's not easy, but it must be said. The world of Islam has never suffered reputational damage as under Tinubu Shetima presidency. All over the world where Muslims have ruled or are ruling, there is peace and tranquility and there is justice. That's the truth. Go to the countries where you've had maximum Muslim dictators. I mean, start from Gaddafi, start from Saddam Hussein. Look at, besides the human rights abuses, they have established records that are yet unsurpassed. Human Development Index of Gaddafi, no one can meet it in the world up till today. Only when you cross their paths, then they will kill or destroy you. This is not about religion. And if you're presenting religion, then present the genuine candidates, the real ones who will govern by the dictates of their religion. We want, if you're bringing a Christian, we want a genuine Christian. If you're bringing a Muslim, we want a genuine Muslim.
Berkshire the show with daily Christian commentary videos. You know, I've noticed this pattern of when people are in a deception, the core root of the issue, they don't call it out. The obvious, the elephant in the room, you know, as the saying says, the elephant in the room, they do not address. They will talk about everything. They will point everything out. But the elephant, they will do everything in their power to ignore. This man says Islam's reputation has suffered the most under Tinubu's presidency. And I'm like, compared to when? When has Islam ever needed a reputation boost in or outside of a president? Specifically in Nigeria. Nigeria is one of the only countries where Islam has been exactly as Muhammad would have it. These things of what do you call it, the Sharia law and cutting of people's hands, where was it popular at one point? Was it not Nigeria? So there's documentaries online. We don't need thingy. There's full-on documentaries by journeymen from way back, 10 plus years back, before Tinubu came, that showcase and show Islam's reputation has always been down the mud. It belongs in the mud. Even if people moved out of the way of Islam, Islam will do it to itself because the ideologies are conflicting. Islam has too many conflicting ideologies. When Muhammad is in the peaceful period or in a period when he didn't have an army, he releases verses of peace. He is submissive. There is no compulsion to religion. You can believe what you believe. I believe what I believe. Clearly in the book. And then the same person who says no, his revelation was to correct the other books. That Muslims, not the Quran. It is Muslims who claim that the Quran says that it was there to correct the other books, which is not what it claims. It says it's there to confirm. But anyways, the one who is here to correct the other books, according to Muslims, says there is no compulsion. You don't need to push anybody to believe in anything in the Quran. Then later on, he turns around and he says, fight the Muslims, fight the Christians, by chapter number 5 of Surah. The Surah chapter number 5. He's already saying. So you go from chapter 1, by chapter 5, he's already violent. Yes, and I understand the order is not exactly chronologically. So he's already saying, fight the Christians wherever you find them. Bring them to subjection until they pay the jizr. He requests that they pay a tax for believing opposite. And he's very much well targeted. He says they must fight the Muslims, the Jews, and the people of the book. He must fight, not the Muslims, they must fight the Jews and the people of the book. The people of the book are Christians. But then at one point, Muhammad is spotted saying that if there is anything that Christians wanted to judge, they came to ask him questions pertaining the Jews' books and the belief systems of the Jews and the Christians. And Muhammad said, is it not clear that we believe in what you believe? So a Christian should judge by the Injil, which is the Gospels. And the Jews should judge by the Torah. That's what he says. He says they should judge by their own books. But then Muslims today will tell you what? Muslims today will tell you, you can't judge by that book, the book is corrupted. But Muhammad does not say that. So when this man says, this is what I mean when I say a person who lives in deception. This man is a perfect example of it. When this man says, give us a true Christian, what does he mean? What does he mean? When he says, when you give us a true Christian, when you give us a Christian, give us a true Christian. When you give us a Muslim, give us a true Muslim. What do you mean by give us a true Muslim? Because by what standard is a true Muslim? Is it by the peaceful verses or is it by the war verses? Which one is it? It's confusing. In the life of Muhammad alone, the Quran is already confusing. Don't add the caliphates and everybody that comes after him, after Uthman, what? Don't add everybody else. By Muhammad's record already, the Quran is very, very confusing. So this shows you what a person living under deception is, that they avoid all the true facts. You see the things I said, these are things that are from the Quran. These are things that are from the Quran. So when you say they must judge a true Christian by true Christian, which one is a true Christian? How do you know? And you as a person who is a Muslim, how are you going to determine that that's a true Christian? How? Because you still can't determine that the reputation of Islam is because of Islam. The people who are there shooting people, shooting grannies, walking into churches and shooting and screaming Allahu Akbar, what reputation has that done to your religion? You want to blame Tinubu. The religion is the problem. See, you wanting to be a peaceful Muslim and them wanting to be violent Muslims, it's all what the book commands you. Yeah, you see, a Christian is not confused. A Christian is not confused because the book is very clear what it says. There are things he said to Israel that he clearly does not say to us. It's very straightforward. But Muhammad says both things. And both those things, we see both of them in today's age. When people point to a history for Christianity, they always use the Church of Rome. They always use the Church of Rome and what they were doing. Those people are not Christian, they are Catholics. It's very clear in the title. They are not Christians, they are Catholics. So they use the period when the Catholics were killing people. The church never killed people. It is the Catholic Church that was doing that, which it's not a church at all. The things they believe, we don't believe. They pray to Mary. We don't pray to Mary, which, by the way, Muhammad then accuses, but we're not going to get into that. You see, this is what living in a deception looks like. Is that the true elephant in the room he does not talk about. He doesn't talk about the insecurity that Islam presents. He wants to present the peace that he perceives from either the leaders themselves. He does not want to address how the very government is busy dealing and negotiating with terrorists. Why are you negotiating with terrorists? Deal with those people. Wipe their faces on the floor. But instead, what do you see? You see them busy in discussions, in conversations, and so forth. Why? Because you're living in confusion. The doctrine is confused. Some verses tell you, you're like, when you say that a person who's a true Muslim, it's a very interesting one, because for me, I don't see how one justifies the ideals of Muhammad, violent verses and peaceful verses, in the same religion. I don't see how that. How do you reconcile all of that? But when a person lives in a deception, they accept one version so that they can push one other version. But that is not what a person who lives in truth does. What they would have to do is to reconcile the fact that you have a religion that has confusion in the book. This is not even in interpretation, in the book directly. Let's not even talk about the hadiths. Let's not even talk about the things that are written about Muhammad's life. Let's not talk about him consummating a marriage with a young girl. Let's not talk about him having more wives than what he says that Allah permits Muslims. Let's not even talk about all of that stuff. Let's not talk about the mismatch of biology in the Quran. Let's not talk about the supposed fictional science that is presented pertaining the setting of the sun. Let's not talk about all of that stuff. The book sets confusion forward, and you cannot as an individual ignore how the book sets confusion and then want to tell us, when you give a Muslim, get a true Muslim. Which one is a true Muslim? Because by the book, according to the book, those people who are busy going around different churches with their false book are true Muslims. Islam is a problem. Islam does not have a reputation problem. Islam is presenting itself with the confusion and distraction that it presents in the book. It's a destructive religion. It suffered the worst reputation. Which reputation? Have you read your book? Have you seen the cultures that spring up from Islam? The cultures of people marrying kids and whatnot and stuff like that. You've seen those videos. What do we need to present them to you? They're all over. You can find them if you search. I'm talking about cultures today that are embroiled in arranged child marriages. Kids as young as 11, 12 being married off to seek old people for financial gain. And then you want to tell me about a dignity in the religion? What are you talking about? This is to me what living in a deception looks like, ladies and gentlemen. It's when a person clearly sees the delusions that are presented by his religion and chooses to avoid all of them to address something else. But yeah, tell me your thoughts down in the comment section. It's the Reality Show. We do daily Christian commentary videos. Other episodes done today will be down in the pinned comments, and I'm going to check you out over there. That's what living in a deception sounds like. When you want to choose what good you want to present, and then the same person want to tell us what bad looks like. No, give us a true Christian. When you want to tell us about a true Muslim, give us a true Muslim. Which one? Both the violent one and the one who's peaceful are both true Muslim, because that's what the book tells them. The question is, which one do you want to choose? As a Christian, I don't have that dilemma. It's straightforward. Someone strikes you on this side, you give them this side. It's very straightforward. There's no confusion. But this is a religion of revenge. It's a religion of conquest. Human dominance, dominate people, subject people to the harshest conditions of life. kill, shoot, what, you name it, everything, terrorize people throughout the community, throughout the entire communities. That's the religion of Islam. It does not need a change of reputation. Which change of reputation? That's the one that's the reputation that Islam has chosen for itself. A change of reputation. I thought that man was I thought that was